Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from group 6. The member is Nurul Kusumardani, Aziza Husn Khairiyah, and Adila Alvin Gunawan. Okay, let's get started. Overweight, start exercising, identifying time and sequence. Text 6, Overweight, start exercising. Before you read, A. Look at the title. 1. What is the topic of the article? What do you think the article is about? Answer, about how to lose excess weight. 2. Which of these subtopics do you think the article will mention? Answer, how difficult it is to get people to exercise. Why exercise is important. The dangers of being fat. Why people get fat. How difficult it is to get people to exercise. Why exercise is important. The dangers of being fat. The dangers of exercising. B. Think about the following questions. 1. What do you know about the dangers of being fat? Answer, can cause obesity. 2. What are the best ways to fight overweight? Answer, diet and eat healthy food. 3. Is overweight inherited? Will a fat child become a fat adult? Answer, I don't think so. 4. In what ways do exercise help us? Answer, reduce body fat that appears. 5. How many people do you know who exercise regularly? Do you? Answer, pretty much. I'm one of those people who rarely exercise. 6. What kind of exercise do doctors recommend? How much time should we exercise every day? Answer, I don't know. 7. When you buy food, do you check its calorie or energy content? Answer, no. C. Skim the article quickly. List the paragraph numbers where you can find statistic about Americans who don't exercise. Paragraph 1 and 4. Why Americans have become fatter. Paragraph 2. Reason why people don't get enough exercise nowadays. Paragraph 3. New advice about exercising. Paragraph 3. Vocabulary. These words and phrases will help you understand the text. Accumulate, advise, approach, at least, body and mind, consume calories, decade, engage in exercise, evidence, an expert, viewer, figure out, heart rate, increasing weight, maintain, muscle tissue, percent, physical activity, progress, recommend, risk, to sweat, target, vicious cycle. 2. While you read, think about these questions. A. Who is the writer writing to? Who would be interested in this article? Answer, to people who don't care about weight. Yes. B. What are some of the main ideas the writer wants to communicate to us? Answer, the importance of exercising. We are all aware that exercise is important. We know we should be doing it, but something always seems to keep us from getting started. There are many of us in the USA, more than 60% of the population gets little or no exercise, even though we have been reminded time and again of the wonderful effects of regular physical activity on body and mind. Americans constantly go on diets, yet in the last 3 decades we have become fatter and fatter, despite the fact that we actually consume fewer calories than in the past, since body fat cannot appear of out thin air. The explanation of our increasing weight must be that we are using up all of fewer calories that we are consuming. It isn't difficult to figure out why this is so. All we have to do is look around at our lives. We are surrounded by machines and gadgets that make move unnecessary. Remote control TVs, radios and DVDs, automatic gear, safe carts, elevators and escalators, washing machines and dishwashers, computers and fight machines, email at home and in the office, catalog and internet shopping, motorized lawn mowers, and so forth and so on. We hardly have to lift a finger to get through the day. And to be sure, most of us don't, according to one exercise expert. If we spend 2 minutes an hour of each workday sending email to office mates instead of walking down the hall to talk to them, we will eventually accumulate the caloric equivalent of 11 pounds of body fat in a decade. The problem is body fat compared to muscle tissue. Body fat needs fewer calories to maintain itself. As a result, as we gain weight, our metabolic rate, the number of calories we use up minute by minute, drops and we gain even more weight. This results in the vicious cycle of inactivity and weight gain that many of us suffer from. On the whole, Americans don't exercise much. In fact, fewer than one-fifth engage in regular, sustained, vigorous physical activity, the kind that makes them sweat a little, the kind that lowers the risk of chronic disease and early death. There is mounting evidence that such physical activity can greatly reduce the risk of developing and dying of heart disease, stroke, diabetes, hypertension, and osteoporosis. Despite all the evidence, the proportion of Americans who engage in this kind of exercise has not increased since the mid-1980s. Prompted by this lack of progress, some leading health authorities have decided to make change in the advice they offer the public. Instead of pushing everyone to exercise at their so-called target heart rate for at least 20 minutes at a time, at least 3 times a week. Experts now suggest a practical approach. They recommend that we do 30 minutes or more of only moderately intense physical activity, but do it almost every day. They even say that the 30 minutes of daily activity can be divided into shorter 10-minute segments.
A. How much did you understand? Not many. Number 1. Which percentage of Americans get little or no exercise? Do they know about the reward of exercise? Is exercise good only for the body? Answer. 60%. Yes, they know about the reward of exercise. Exercise not only good for body. Number 2. Do they eat more or less than in the past? Have they become fatter or thinner? How does the writer explain the increase in weight in America? Answer: yes, further, that it actually consumes fewer calories than before, because body fat doesn't just appear. Explanation for our weight gain: certainly we use less calories than we consume. Number 3. Why are people consuming fewer calories than in the past? What bad habit at work does one exercise expert warn us about? Answer: since body fat cannot appear out of thin air, the explanation for our increasing weight must be that we are using up a lot fewer calories than we are consuming. If we spend 2 minutes an hour every working day, send an email to a coworker instead, walk down the hall to talk to them, you will eventually accumulate the calories equivalent of 11 pounds of body fat in a decade. Number 4. What is flower fever? Calories body fat or muscle? What drop when you are fat? What happens when your metabolic rate goes down? What is the result of inactivity? Answer: body fat, number of calories, weight gain. With that many suffer from. Number 5. What kind of physical activity helps to prevent disease? Which diseases are affected by this activity? Answer: vigorous physical activity, the kind that keeps them slightly low, the kind that lowers the risk and premature death. There is a mounting evidence that such physical activity can greatly reduce the risk of developing and dying from heart disease, stroke, diabetes, hypertension, and osteoporosis. Number 6. Why have American health experts changed the advice they give? What is the new advice? Answer: due to lack of progress. Instead of encouraging everyone to exercise at their so-called target heart rate for at least 20 minutes at least 3 times a week, experts now suggest a more practical approach. B. Text analysis question. Number 1. Explain the following quote. What if it cannot appear out of thin air? Paragraph 2, line 14. Answer. Explanation for our weight gain. Certainly, we use less calories than we consume. Number 2. What is the greatest explanation for Americans getting fatter? Paragraph 2. Answer. Despite the fact that we really are consuming fewer calories than before. Number 3. What is the example given by the exercise expert? What idea does this example demonstrate? Paragraph 3. Answer. If we spend 2 minutes an hour every working day, send an email to a coworker instead walk down the hall to talk to them, we will eventually accumulate the calories equivalent of 11 pounds of body fat in a decade. Number 4. What is the richest definition of metabolic rate? Paragraph 4, line 42 to 43. Answer. The number of calories we use minute by minute. Number 5. This results in fiction cycles of inactivity and weight gain. Paragraph 4, lines 44 to 48. 6. Explain to fiction cycle what causes the inactivity and the weight gain. Answer. Compared with muscle tissue, body fat requires fewer calories to defend himself. As a result, as we obtain body weight, our metabolic rate, the number of calories we use minute by minute, down and we gain weight. Number 6. What is the function of paragraph 6? What does the writer give us in this paragraph? Answer. Advise for exercise at their so-called target heart rate for at least 20 minutes at least 3 times a week. Number 7. What is the aim of the article? Who will be interested in reading it? What is important information does it give us? What is the writer's main message? Answer. The aim of this article is to invite people to exercise and maintain a healthy body. Those who are interested in reading the article are people who want to lose their weight. The important information is the right ways to exercise to lose weight and eat their information. The retirement message in exercise is important to our body.
For close reading, a subtitle words, what do the underlined word refer to? 1. We should be doing it. Exercise. 2. To figure out why body fat can just appear. 3. Most of us don't or hardly need to lift a finger to pass day. 4. The kin that makes them sweet. Sport type. 5. The lack of progress progress of physical activity in America. B. Markers. See the skill section discourse markers page 139 until 145. 1. Find this in the text and decide what meanings they signal. Goes from recent summary contrast purpose comparison. 1. Even talk contrast. 2. Science reason. 3. Yet contrast. 4. Instead of summary. 5. Despite reason. 2. Underline the correct answer. Even though we have been remind or we have not been remind. Despite all this evidence means as a result of the evidence or although there is evidence. As a result we gain weight means this make us gain weight or this come from gaining weight. C. Sentence structure. 1. Preparatory. What does it refer to in the sentence? It isn't difficult to figure out why. Notice the underlined noun clause. What question do the answers? They recommend that we do 30 minutes blah 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 of blah 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 physical activity. Answer. It in the text is Americans doesn't want to exercise. 2. They even say that the 30 minutes blah 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 can be divided into blah 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 segments. Paragraph 6 line 70 until 72. Answer. Notice the underlined noun clause. What question do they answer? They recommend that we do 30 minutes blah 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 of blah 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 physical activity.
Identifying time and sequence. Practice 23. Can you identify the time reference of the underlined verb? Clues from the following. Happens repeatedly. True in general. Happening now or temporary in the future. Happened in the past at a known time. Past action. Emphasizing present result. Action before another past action. Note. In some cases, more than one answer is possible. The first one has been done for you. 1. More than 60% of Americans get little or no exercise. True in general or happen repeatedly. 2. Despite innumerable diets in the last 3 decades, Americans have become fatter and fatter happening now or temporary. 3. A relaxed pace will be more comfortable for a girl like Sandy in the future. 4. A first child needs support while adapting for the birth of a sibling. Past action emphasizing present result. 5. In 1939, the Nazis invaded Poland, happening in the past at known time. 6. Women are faster than men in certain precision manual tasks, such as placing pegs in design holes on a board. True in general. 7. This year we are experimenting with a very variety of methods for teaching arithmetic happening now or temporary. 8. She has passed the exam. Now she can go into the next grade. Happens repeatedly. 9. Before the year was over, everyone in the school had taken the new reading test. Happening now or temporary. 10. 54% of the students cheated on tests that year through in general. 11. In this approach, students acquire a better understanding of the viewpoint of others through in general. 12. Research has proven that children learn better when they are in small groups action before another past action. Practice 12.4. Can you identify the time sequence? In each sentence, number the underlined verbs to show the order in which the event happened. Note, in some cases, two actions can have the same number. The first one has been done for you. 1. A doctor in Tokyo found a 13-year-old boy who had not been to school for a year. 2. When the research published their findings, they forgot to mention that they had conducted the experiment under artificial conditions. As a result, they were forced to repair the experiment from the beginning. 3. After my great uncle survived Auschwitz and came to America in the late 1940, he got a job selling shoes in a large shoe store. He had been a lawyer in Germany, and when the owner of the shoe shop saw that his new salesman was able and educated, he offered him the position of store manager. For the boy later explained that he had completely given up hope and felt he was going to die until he saw that special teacher. 5. For the last few years, I have studied the effect of this medicine on human beings. I'm still working on the research but hope to be finished soon. It is hard to believe that I started this project 10 years ago. By the time it's over, I will be over 50 years old.
I think enough. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.